Is that Tabane? Oh, Jesus Christ. Just how much are they going to skip? Dang. Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss. You just watched my new intro. Soon you're going to be watching my new outro, but right now you're watching my review for Infinite Stratos 2, Episode 10. And this episode had an interesting layout. It really did. In the beginning we had some canon stuff with the girls interrogating Kanzashi, and then we had Ichika helping out with the measurements for the new IS suits for the girls. And when it came to the main girls interrogating Kanzashi, they were in the end won over by her because she's so innocent, and they couldn't help but like her. And when it comes to Ichika doing the measurements, Chifuyu messed around with him a little bit, giving him that see-through blindfold. And we got to see Nohone again, which was good. But it ends up with Ichika being beaten up pretty much by the main girls, minus Kanzashi, because he thought it would be a good idea to close his eyes and then just feel around. I don't know why he would think that was a good idea, why that would work out well. I mean, it technically worked out well, but I mean, like, if it was any other guy, it would have worked out well. They would have been happy with that situation. But Ichika is... he's Ichika. Alright, he's Ichika. I don't know what else... That's enough, alright? He's Ichika. That explains the entire situation. But, the main portion of the episode that happens after this, it focuses on Cecilia and her cooking. And if you watch the OVAs from the first season, or you read the volumes, the light novel, then you would know that Cecilia's cooking is god-awful. She's bad. She's real bad, alright? And I'm not really sure if this portion of the episode was filler or not. I don't really remember. It certainly wasn't in the latest volume, but it might have been in, like, one of the earlier volumes, like 5 through 7 or something like that. Maybe, I don't think it was in volume 4, because that was the one that it was kind of just episodic. I don't think it was in that one. But yeah, the point is that the majority of the episode was this cooking stuff, and Ichika sitting on the roof with Hoki, Cecilia, and Rin, and he points out that Hoki, Rin, and Char are good at cooking their respective signature dishes, and Cecilia decides that she wants to get good at cooking too, so she stops by each of their rooms, Hoki, Rin, and Char, and she wants to learn how to cook from them. And she knows absolutely nothing about cooking. She's making some not even rookie mistakes. She's making just, I have no clue what I'm doing mistakes. Okay, like, she's worse than a rookie. She Hoki wanted to, like, heat up the oil or something. She hugs it. Like, she has no clue what she's doing. None at all. And she ends up helping Hoki and Char out with their dishes, and she poisons Hoki. Then she poisons Char. Then poor Laura wakes up in the middle of the night, sees the pot there, thinks it's good. She gets poisoned too. Okay, and her next target is Rin. So she goes to Rin's room, and surprisingly, I actually liked Rin in this episode. I'm just not a fan of her. I just can't like her. But apparently I can like, because I liked her in this episode. But she tries to show Cecilia how to make sweet and sour pork, and rather than poisoning Rin, she decides to blow her room up, pretty much blow up her wall. I don't know in what world this could be considered a good idea, but in order to heat up the pork, she decides to summon one of her IS laser things and shoot it. Okay, common sense says that you would disintegrate rather than heat up the sweet and sour pork. Okay, this is just beyond me. she's actually stupider than Ichika at this point. Like, I just don't understand how someone could think that that was a good idea. But after the disaster with Rin, she ends up apologizing to Ichika because she wanted to cook for him, and everything just turned out badly. And Ichika decides to show her how to cook something. I think it was onigiri. Um, and that's how this section of the episode ended. And it actually turned out well for Cecilia this time. No one got poisoned. And if I didn't know any better, I'd actually say that was her goal, to just eliminate all the competition and just poison them all. But after this last scene with Ichika and Cecilia, we skip ahead a lot, okay? And we see Tabane meeting with Squall, right? And I've been questioning the way they've been doing the anime for a few weeks now, but this was just not good. Okay, I mentioned it a while back, but the first season covered 3 volumes, and the OVAs covered half of volume 4. Okay, this season so far has covered half of volume 4 and volumes 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we don't even have any OVAs yet. Okay, so the first season covered 3 volumes, second season 4.5. Okay, and it's not over yet. We still have 2 more episodes. And the way this episode ended was the ending to volume 8. Okay, there was just a tiny bit of stuff after this in volume 8. Okay, this was the main, pretty much the ending of volume 8. Okay, so, and that, as far as what's translated, that's all that's out. I believe volume 9 might be out in Japan. I'm not sure about that. I think it might be. But actually, yeah, let me check that right now. Let me check that right now, okay? Because this is annoying me. Because if volume 9 isn't out yet, then that means they're gonna do filler, which is bad. All right. Volume 9. Okay, they don't even have it. All right, so I don't really know if volume 9's out yet. Wikipedia has it up, but they don't have a date for when it's supposed to come out. And I looked earlier today, and I couldn't find anything either. So this is not looking good, you guys. I'll just assume that volume 9 is in fact out, and that they're not going to do filler, but even then, it's still bad. They skipped so much stuff. They skipped so much stuff. There are a bunch of events that they skipped. There's a bunch of development that they skipped. They skipped all the student council stuff, like I mentioned before. They bring up Nohone's appeared in the last couple episodes, but we don't even know that she's a member of the student council. We don't know that Ichika's a part of the student council, the vice president, in fact. They skipped. They showed that part where Hoki and Ichika did that interview in photo shoot, and they got those dinner reservations, but they didn't show the dinner that they went to where they got more development, and that led to development with Ron as well. Dan, Gotanda, and Utsuho get development at some point. They're skipping a lot of stuff. They skipped over Chloe Chronicle. Chloe Chronicle. I mean, to be fair, I guess it's safe to assume that the Ku-chan that Tabane mentioned at the end of the episode is Chloe, but maybe. I mean, that's how her name begins. Well, in Japanese it would be Kuroi, not just Chloe. So, with Japanese pronunciation, Ku could be a nickname for her. But, so I guess it's safe to assume that they will introduce her at some point, but not just skip over her entirely. But even so, they're still skipping over a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Right now, Tatsunashi is supposed to be injured. Okay, and not from the recent attack, from something completely different. Okay, so they're skipping over a lot of stuff. Okay? They literally skipped over the entirety of Volume 8, pretty much. It's just that little bit at the beginning with like Ichika and taking measurements. That's literally it. They skipped over the entirety of Chapter 8 of Volume 8, pretty much. Chapter 2, Chapter 3 were completely skipped. Nothing even mentioned from them. And chapter 1 was skipped in it mostly, just that tiny little bit in the beginning of the episode. Volume 4 was skipped completely with the exception of the end, right? So I honestly just don't know what they're doing. I really don't. Um, but the episode did end with Tabane and Squall meeting. Oh, another thing. When Ichika and Hoki went to that dinner, Ichika actually met Squall. So that's something else that they skipped that they shouldn't have skipped. All right, but Squall at this point, Squall's meeting with Tabane, and she's trying to get her to make ISs for Phantom Task, and Tabane says no. And Autumn comes out of nowhere. She puts a gun to Tabane's head to try and force her to make ISs for Phantom Task. And if you guys didn't know, now you know, okay? Never put a gun to the head of Tabane Shinonona, okay? This woman does not get messed around with by anyone other than Chifuyu, okay? And no one else is in her league. She said she was over-engineered both physically and mentally, so no one is a match for her. All right. I don't know how exactly she went about making herself over-engineered, but she is. Well, all we need to know right now is that she is over-engineered. And Monica comes in with her IS, and even she can't do anything about it. Her IS gets dismantled. And that it's not clear in the anime what happens because they start jumping all around with the camera angles and stuff, and they showed everything but that. But she does dismantle Monica's IS, and she figures out Monica's name, and she says that if it's for Monica, she will make a new IS for her. And that's the end of the episode. But the episode itself was okay, but I don't like the fact that they skipped pretty much an entire volume. So I'm gonna give it. So rather than giving it a 6, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. I'm only taking away 0.5, so not too big of a deal, but still, I don't like the pacing and how fast they're going, how they're skipping everything. But that's it, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.